Now you see the aerial view of the area of Carnuntum and the reconstruction projected of the ancient site. Now we are entering the arena, the civil arena. There are two arenas in Carnuntum, one for the legions and one for the civilian population. These arenas were not thought to kill gladiators, but it was mainly thought for exhibition fights, for games and performances for the population. It was a very foggy day. We tried to tell you a little bit about Carnuntum itself. It's situated between Vienna and Bratislava. Bratislava is the capital of Slovakia. Here we are inside the arena. It was a very foggy day.
Indeed.
The video is moving very slowly, but that's okay. In recent years, a training center for the gladiators was discovered. You see the reconstruction in the background, in the fog. And it was discovered by using soil radar. And this was the training camp.
I think it's called prospective archaeology, where you actually do not dig it all up, but you use a lot of radars and cameras to actually look into the soil, into the earth several feet deep, and then you try to reconstruct virtually from the data what the city hidden in the earth is actually to reveal it.
So we are on the hill on the outside. I'm moving now into the video. This is me. And you have now a good view of the area where these games went on and the exhibition fights. And they were mainly thought as a performance for the population. Now we are in the second arena. It is the arena belonging to the legions. You see a ferocious animal in the front, which is my dog. I'm coming out of the tunnel. This was the tunnel where the gladiators moved into the center of the arena. Sometimes ferocious animals like bears, wolves, and lions were also involved. In the background, you see the reconstruction of a tribune for special guests and some other reconstructions. Once a year, there is a Roman festival in this arena with some exhibitions for fights and other things. And now you will see on the right side the reconstruction like the arena looked like. A lot of construction material was taken away to build in medieval times the city of Hainburg, which is close by. It's around 10 kilometers east of Carnuntum. Carnuntum was started, or they started to build Carnuntum 40 Anno Domini, and it lasted until 400 Anno Domini. Now we are in the excavation site of the civil town of Carnuntum. You see in the background and in the fog, you see some buildings which were reconstructed to show the visitors how a Roman villa, a Roman building looked like. The Romans had already a very special heating system. The floors were built on small columns, and from outside wood was fired and the flue gas circulated below the floor and heated the building. Now we are at the entrance of the museum. Normally in wintertime the museum is locked. They open only in spring, but we spoke with the local government and with the management of the museum, and they opened it for us.
My name is I'm responsible for press and marketing of the Roman city of Carnuntum. The ancient Carnuntum was a big and important metropolis at the northern border of the Roman Empire. It was situated on the crossing point of two very important trading routes of the Roman Empire. It was the Emperor Road on one hand and the Limes along the Danube on the other hand. Today, as a worldwide unique project, the part of the Roman city quarter was rebuilt at the original location in Carnuntum. At the ancient area of Carnuntum, more than 2 million Roman objects were found, and some of them are displayed in exhibitions in our archaeological museum of Carnuntum.
People cannot hear what the guide is saying. Can you give us some description?
I mean, basically, she says, or gives us an introduction to the museum. What you're seeing now is a monument to commemorate the meeting of 4 Roman emperors close by to Carnuntum, where they discussed very important matters of the Roman Empire. This was 308 Anno Domini. Maybe in the back, this is a statue, was a statue of an emperor and his wife. Now we are inside the museum. This is the reconstruction of the military base of the legion. You have to imagine that the legion were around 4,800 to 5,000 soldiers. There were 2 legions in Carnuntum, the 14th and the 15th, Gemini and Apollinaris. This is the grave stone of a veteran of the 15th Legion. You have the reconstruction of a legionnaires' helmet. They had various kinds of helmets. And this is a mole vest, a protection, and other original pieces like buckles and ornaments of their uniforms. Here are some other original cooking devices, knives, etc. This is the statue of one of the Roman gods. Now you can see quickly on the right side is the best preserved military signal horn which still exists. No, it's not, you couldn't see it. This is the reconstruction of Roman soldier with his special uniform on the horse.
And this is just us in the museum, Stefano.
This is us in the museum.
As the only guests.
A map, the only guest is a map of Carnuntum in ancient times. Now what you hear now is my dog. She's having a dream and barking in her dream. I don't know if you can hear it. In the show cabinets, you see original Roman potteries on the left and on the right. All artifacts which were found during excavations in the area. Another tombstone. And as the Danube is close by, this is the god Danubius, the god of the river Danube, also an original statue. There were some very important emperors who came and were also in Carnuntum. The first was Tiberius. Marcus Aurelius, probably everybody knows from the movie The Gladiator. Septimus Severus was proclaimed Roman Emperor in Carnuntum. And also Regalian and Valentinian was there. Now we're leaving the museum.
My name is Dirk Horst. I'm the president of the MIT Club of Austria. About 3 years
Well, I basically just expressed my gratitude, but because it was my first visit, and I'm also comparing basically it wasn't my last, and we might be back when the museum is open. We might even do a get-together there, it was just very grateful basically that they took half a day to present us with. They I think there were about 2 million artifacts in that area. As I said, it's about 2,000 years old, nearby Vienna, and we basically had a half a fun day to be there. Although it was foggy, but basically inside it wasn't, and it was fun to be there and walk around this ancient history.
Thank you very much that you gave us a I'm doing the same. I'm thanking to Magister Anna Maria Gross, who gave us the possibility to enter the museum. And I also want to thank a very good friend of mine, Professor Werner Jobst, who gave us some very important historical inputs.
John asked, in Roman times, was this a destination site for miles around? And what was the town population?
The population there at Carnuntum was between 50,000 and 100,000 inhabitants. And it was the most important settlement in the northern part of the Roman Empire on the river Danube, which at that time was the border towards the German Marcoman tribes. So it was a very important site at that time. In Vienna was a settlement, but Vienna at that time was not so important like Carnuntum, because the Romans also looked and wanted very specific characteristics for their settlements, especially for the legions. They didn't want to have forests around. They wanted to have a good overview over the river Danube, which was the limes, because on the other side the barbarian tribes lived. Yeah. So there are a lot of things to see in Carnuntum, around Carnuntum, also in the villages around Carnuntum, and we have tried to focus to some important things what we wanted to show.
Stefano,
Go ahead, Claude.
Yeah, the barbarians were anything but barbarians, and I'd love to find out more about their political organization, etc. Is it true that they had no writing and no written documents? Did they have a hieroglyphic structure or any recording structure?
They had the language, this is for sure. If they had a way of writing, I don't know. But it was not a unified community of persons. There were a lot of tribes and not really structured like we would, like the Roman Empire, for example, was. Of course, the Roman Empire at that time was already a very sophisticated society. Yeah.
Well, of course, the Romans committed one of the greatest genocides in history against the Germanic barbarians.
Yeah, but also the barbarians killed 3 legions near the Rhine. This was the Varus battle, yeah. So everybody did something to the other side, yeah.
Yes, Stefan, I actually have a question. Is Carnuntum near the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Is Carnuntum near the Teutoburg Forest?
No. Carnuntum is situated in Austria, between Vienna and Bratislava, which is the capital of Slovakia, on the Danube River.
I see, so quite far away.
It's
This is very
farther
far
east.
away
Yeah.
from the Teutoburger forest where the Varus battle was, yeah.
I think that's about all the time that we have. It was a really wonderful presentation to see a tour of the museum, especially it was since the museum is currently closed. So I want to thank Stefano and Dirk and the Club of Austria for this presentation.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
very
us. And
much.
again,
Thank you.
yeah, my apologies for the technical difficulties at the beginning. I'm really
It
sorry about
happens to all of us. Yeah.
that. And thanks for having us.
Okay.
It's just great that all people got together here.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.